The horrendous terrorist attack that killed 3 generations of a Canadian Muslim family while leaving a 9-year-old child orphaned in London, Ontario, has sent a shockwave all across the world. According to the police, the family was targeted for their Muslim faith by a radical extremist. The attacks on Muslims around the world in the aftermath of 9/11 are on the rise, especially in Western countries. The main reason behind these hate-motivated attacks is Islamophobia, a term used to describe irrational hostility, fear or hatred of Islam, Muslims and Islamic culture. There have been a growing number of physical or verbal attacks on Muslim property, places of worship and people, especially those who display a visible manifestation of their religious identity, such as women wearing the hijab. The use of terminologies like radical Islam by numerous Western leaders has made many people regard Islam as a threat and fear Muslims as the enemy.
Against radical Islamic terrorism.
The leadership of the Muslim world, however, has done very little to address this growing threat to Muslims living in Western countries. Although some leaders have raised their concerns against the victimization of Muslims, the most prominent voice in the world against the growing Islamophobia is the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan. Khan was amongst the first leaders from the Muslim world who warned the world against this new phenomena. During his address at the UN General Assembly's 74th session, he urged the world to address this issue.
Islamophobia since 9/11 has grown at a pace where it is alarming.
He urged the world to address this issue. In 2020, Khan wrote letters to the leaders of Muslim-majority countries, asking them to act collectively to counter growing Islamophobia in non-Muslim states. The Pakistani Prime Minister also wrote a letter to the social networking giant Facebook, calling for immediate action against hate content promoting anti-Muslim sentiments on the website.
Imran Khan issuing a letter directed towards Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. What he wants is a ban on Islamophobic content.
Imran Khan has used different forums to raise the issue of growing hatred against Muslim communities in the West who suffer hate on a regular basis. Using his life experience in the West, Khan is communicating Muslim perspectives very effectively. As someone with understanding of both cultures, Khan makes his point clear with real-life examples and experiences. His essay published on the New York Times was read by thousands. His recent interview was yet another attempt to present a Muslim point of view while addressing growing Islamophobia.
And the man in the street cannot distinguish between a moderate Muslim and a radical Muslim. Terrorism has no religion.
The problem is there's this big communication gap between the Islamic world and the Western society.
Imran Khan is making an all-out effort to enlighten the common man in the West, as well as world leaders and policymakers, with the Muslim point of view that he hopes will one day end these attacks that are motivated by hate, which has no place in a civilized world.